We're trying to get you while you were still sorting your stuff out. I was hoping we were going to catch you with your pants off or something.
You wish. Then they'd pay the
One
subscription.
I'll have to get that ladder outside your house. That'll sort it.
Disclaimer there. Yeah, something about if you use an Android device, you might get an echo.
Yeah, I saw that. Who's doing this on the phone?
On the phone, yeah. Okay. I'm just sending you some as we chat, just to download and pop in there, because we won't do much of a pre-show chat today, because the whole episode is basically a big pre-show chat, essentially, isn't it? But I just wanted to share something, and it's a question that I think we'd have a good discussion with, a brief discussion about if we listen to it. But I'll just send it, if you download it, just pop it in as audio. But yeah, last episode of the series, everyone. Here we are. The end of an era. Second era. It's only a short video.
For the main show.
I'm just for us in the paint, just giving us goodbye to the paying customers. The most important ones.
We're still gonna have stuff coming for them for their hard-earned cash. They're still gonna be.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're gonna be doing. There might be a week because I'm away where it lows, but other than that, it'll be. Although if next week if we do a Shadow Puppets, we can pop that out the week after, and then they'll have that at least. But yeah, we're still gonna be putting content out for you, guys and gals. And we are really only going to be gone for a month. Did I just send it to you? Did I not? Oh, it's 97. Oh, it's finalizing. How it's taking that long? It's a clip of about 2 minutes. 155 megabytes. There you go. I guess we are on this, and Vicky's watching telly, I guess, at the same time. We transfer some Slack.
Where have you sent it?
To Nicholas Nee, but it's literally only just sent. Yeah. Oh, could I have sent it on this? I suppose I could have just played it, couldn't I? I didn't think I had the power.
You could have sent the WeTransfer link in the private chat.
Well, yeah. No, I'm good. But this was just something I heard this week. So I'll set it up while you do it. So I'm a fan of Commode and Mayo's film podcast, which used to be on the BBC for years, and then they left the BBC because they think it's pile of shit, and started up their own thing. And I'm a subscriber, so I pay. Like you guys, I subscribe. £2.50. I'll say £2.50. I'll be like, £2.50. We're overpaying, but there's no video content. There's only one extra thing a week. But they put out, and they're millionaires. They have a questions thing where people just send any questions every week and they'll answer them. And this particular question caught my attention for something that we would find interesting to listen to and discuss, especially, and something in particular that Mark Commode says made me think about something that we always say with Arctic Monkeys. So I thought, get this in the pre-show chat, because we're not going to do lists, because we're going to save them for next season, aren't we? Because we're going to be starting Humbug in Jan. We're only gone for a bit, and if you do miss us, we're still putting content. You've always got our other pod, Liquor and Lyrics, available, as you may have seen in your Instagram feed as an advert. As so far, 700 people have. I saw, so quite a lot of
poor fuckers
laughing away. The gift of laughter at Christmas.
That's the best gift of all.
It's the greatest gift of all, rather than food or whatever Bono says.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler alert. Oh, right.
How was your day, Nick?
Tired. I'm tired. I'm very tired.
Are you regretting the particular type of job that you took now that we've entered the winter period? I imagine the job is all shits and giggles in the summer.
It's been all right, actually, because
been all right.
I'm one for wrapping up warm in the winter anyway, so I don't mind it.
I don't know why I turned that into a sexual thing with my face, but I did.
No, I was surprised it's taken this long.
Nothing less, yeah.
5 minutes and 40 seconds for it to get sexual.
Well, we did talk about me having my pants off in the first 10 seconds, to be fair. So.
Oh shit! Yeah. We've already covered it.
Although most women can contest that isn't sexual.
No, the exact opposite.
Most women. I mean, most women I've been with, not just most women have seen my. The majority of women have seen me naked. Did you know?
I present a picture of you to the women on the streets and go, "What do you think of that?" And they go, "Oh my god."
Here's a question for you: If there was an OnlyFans equivalent, but for gay men, and you knew that loads of blokes were making lots of money like the women do off it, Yeah, so
Don't think this doesn't go through my head when I wake up at morning.
because there's no market for women, is there? Women don't want to pay to see us naked and shit.
It's the
So
same
I just
with like, like the gay hotspots like Hampstead Heath and stuff. Why isn't there that for like straight people?
Well, do you know what the two? Well, this is my
dogging,
theory.
but-
We'll say this quickly before we play the clip that you just got. Two things are: number one, on the women thing is right. Women are the issue there. Women have more class than men, and they're not just going to just meet in a park to fuck. Men are just sexual predators that just need sex all the time. We need sex constantly, right? And so that's why gay men, you remove the women, they're quite a bit filthy gay men, aren't they? And they'll like, they because that's why they have sex parties for days, because we take the woman out of the equation and the men will just fuck. They'll just fuck each other. You put the woman in there, that's the block, that's the sensible. So women don't need an OnlyFans because they don't need to see it, because they can get sex whenever they want, because no matter what woman you are, a man will have sex with you. And the reason gay men don't need an OnlyFans is because they can have sex whenever they want, because there's always going to be a bloke to shag you. So that's why it only works for most straight men, because we're the only ones where there's somebody going, no, we're not just going to have sex with anyone. Like, you can beg for it, so it doesn't. Believe me, I could write a thesis on this. I've thought about it a lot.
You go to uni and do a dissertation. Do 3 years of uni just so you can do your dissertation on that in last year.
They'll be seen as woke now. Oh yeah, so have you got the clip?
I was going to play. Yeah, let's give it a play.
From Dan: how many songs of a particular band or artist do you have to like in order to call yourself a fan?
That's an interesting one.
Because I think double figures.
Okay.
Although, to be honest, I think if you like 10 songs by anybody, that's a lot.
But that's an album.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot. If you like an album, there's a Paul Simon album which you would like all the tracks on. 10 songs is one album.
Okay, so how many songs of a particular band or artist do you have to like before you call yourself a fan?
I would say that in order to be a fan, you have to like them beyond them. So an example for me would be the Concert Angels recorded 3 albums at Polydor, which are generally regarded by the music press to be really seminal works.
The music press, remind me, what's that?
Yeah. In the days when the New Musical Express was something with which you could hit somebody. Mm-hmm. So, there are 3 Concert Angels albums, which is Waiting for a Miracle, Sleep No More, and Fiction. And then they left Polydor and they went to Jive, and they did Land and 7 Day Weekend. And I think that the fan bit is that you carry on after the moment that the establishment think, okay, those are the great ones. And another good example would be if you're somebody who's stuck with, Yachts. Their first album was very well received. Yachts Without Radar, less so, but I loved them all the way through. So I think the essence of being the fan is that you stay with them.
Yeah, but what's the answer to the question?
Well, I'm.
How many songs? I'm
answering the question.
Go on then. How many?
I'm answering the question by saying I don't think it's a matter of how many songs. I think it's the essence of being a fan is that you carry on loving them when that train has left the station for everyone else. So, it's like, if are you a Dexys Midnight Runners fan? Yeah, fine, yes. Did you like Kevin Rowland's My Beauty? I mean, were you one of the people that bought The Wanderer? That would be the fan, is that you go with them after everyone else has left them. That's what a fan is. Don't you think? Isn't that a good description of a fan?
I think I'm a fan of 70s Quo. I'm putting limits on my fandom.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think you can't do that.
I've just done it. I am a fan of 70s Quo.
No, you have just done it. But I think, therefore, the fact that you qualified it means that you're not a Quo fan, okay? Why aren't you a Quo fan? Because you're a fan of 70s Quo. So you are not a Quo fan.
I still think if you've got on your phone, or if you've got in your record collection more than one record by an artist or a band, that kind of counts. You're not an Uber fan the way Mark is. No, you're still a fan.
But okay. Without putting the qualification on it, are you a Status Quo fan?
I'm a 70s Quo fan.
Precisely. So
you didn't answer my question, so I'm answering your question.
I am answering your question. The answer to the question is no. You are a 70s Quo fan. That means you're not a fan. It means you're somebody who loves the stuff they did in the 70s. Anyway. Okay. Well, to be like that, I'm making a practical answer. A practical answer is that in order to be a fan, you have to be somebody who sticks with them when other people have moved on.
Sophie in South London.
See, I think there's an element.
It wasn't
Yeah,
me
I
that
can
said
see
that
where
in,
you're
by
both
the way.
coming
Well, I
from.
know you said Dan, but it wasn't
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I think there's an element. I can see where both of them are coming from, but I think Commode slightly is equating it to being a football fan, whereas where you're with them, whatever you go through the shit times and stuff. Whereas,
Well,
so I'd call myself a fan of a Morrissey solo fan, but I don't like anything he's done post 2003. You know what I mean? So what would that?
but I think what I agree with Commode, but I think what he's describing is a hardcore, like Arctic Monkeys, hardcore dedicated fan. They do an album that I don't like, I'll still stand by them, and I'll just go.
Yeah.
I don't, particularly like that album. Although that's weird because that's a weird, yeah, because that would be most. Because I would say, I'm trying to think of someone who I'd say I'm not a super fan of. I'm not a. But I just like, I suppose, like I like the One Block Party album, but there's people that will say, because under Commode's definition, everyone, and we say it a lot though, people that just go, they only like the first two Arctic Monkeys albums, would we regard them as a fan? Or would you regard them as a fan of early Arctic Monkeys? So in a way, Commode's got a point there. So in a way, he's got a point there because we would say that. I just think
right,
I think they're both right, and I think it depends what position you stand on. Because I could say I'm a fan of Block Party, but I'd have to say, like he says, 70s Crow, say the first album and Flux.
Yeah.
That's what I would caveat it with, and that goes for a few artists. But with Arctic Monkeys on the other side of it, I'm more like Commode, going, yeah, a true fan stays with them the whole way. And it just, but that's also not. If it's bad, right? That's the thing. Like, I don't believe any Arctic Monkeys albums are bad. We've had things with the car where it's grew on us, but I genuinely don't believe any of the albums are bad. So therefore, I haven't had to come up with the dilemma of, oh, that was a bad one yet. So, and hopefully never will. But then I don't. But then I think, but what I know, would I know if it was bad?
It's interesting that Mayo chooses Status Quo as his example. It's like
70s Quo. Yeah.
He's like, well, listen to 80s Quo. It's the same fucking three chords.
I don't get that. Some people say that. They go. I suppose it's like you loving like early Stereophonics, isn't it? It's that same kind of thing.
I think love's a strong word for it though. Like, I do like it, but have they done enough? How many albums have they done? And I like two of them.
I don't know how many.
I've done about 10, so I wouldn't say it's like on the.
You wouldn't say you're a fan, would you?
No, on Bumble you can link your Spotify account to it, and it has like your top 10 favorite artists on there. So if you see your profile on there, it'll say, "Oh, you've got something in common. Oh, she also likes Arctic Monkeys." And I know for a fact that she probably likes AM, most likely. I know if I was to message her and go, "So, which song was your favorite on the car?" They'd be like, "What's the car? Oh, I hate it." Like 9 times out of 10.
It's hard because 20. The thing is, I think as this conversation's gone on, it's because right. So if you go in with, here's an example then. So you like 2 Stereophonics albums. So you like between 20 to 24 Stereophonics tracks, basically, under that proviso. So therefore, under Mayo's ideal, you should consider yourself a Stereophonics fan. But under Commode's ideal, you shouldn't. But I actually think you're right. Both are right because you might not go and see Stereophonics now and find them a bit of a joke now, but you are technically a fan because if you like 24 songs, but I can't think of many artists where I like 24 songs by them. That's a lot. See, I think the mistake they make is what Mayo makes is he makes the bar too low. I think 10 tracks isn't enough to say you're a fan. I mean, it's okay, but I would say 20 tracks, 2 albums. If you like 2 albums by an artist, that's a lot because most artists probably only have, the majority of artists probably have under 10 albums, don't they? So if you like 10 out of 2 albums, then that's a high proportion of their work. So I would say, because I would still say somebody who likes, when people say I'm Fate Worst Nightmare is still an Arctic Monkeys fan, I just don't like the way they choose to vocalize the fact that they hate the rest of the stuff. I've got no problem with them calling themselves Arctic Monkeys fans. It's just when they then moan about the other stuff. That's what I don't like. So
with the Stereophonics, another way of quantifying it. So with the Stereophonics thing, if they announced a tour like next week, I would not be getting a ticket.
No.
But then again, if they said we're playing the first album in its entirety, I'd be like, ooh, I might think about it.
And you might have bought a ticket in 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, quite possibly.
I would say you're a fan. I don't know. It's hard. It depends how you define the word fan, I guess. They're both right. It's almost an impossible question.
Yeah.
They're both right because Arctic Monkeys are a weird example because people tend to like. They don't tend to like. Most people when they like two albums by an artist, those albums are close. But Arctic Monkeys fans seem to like always like two that are like. Most like some people like whatever people say on Favorite Worst Nightmare, but the majority of people go like, oh yeah, I like AM and I like whatever people say. Do you know what I mean? So they're like 5 albums apart, and that's not a lot of bands where people like an album way down the road. It's kind of, I guess Bowie's a good example because I've listened to all 25 Bowie albums, and I call myself a huge Bowie fan. But there's certainly a lot of stuff in there that I forgot and don't necessarily love but that's just because high volume is always going to be. If you had 25 albums that were all like to the standard of the over half of them, which are, to be fair, then that would be insane to have that many good albums. Like every album's going to have. The thing with Bowie is he just always has one immense track on even the lesser albums, doesn't he? He always has like one that you go, oh right, okay. Like, oh, that album's a bit weird. Oh, it's got Heroes on it. Okay.
I suppose it's interesting that you brought
And Sound of Vision. So 2 on that one.
The band's having 2 albums far apart that people like. So I think
not many, is there?
I'm trying to think.
Radiohead.
So Oasis, yeah. Radiohead is just a complete anomaly, though. I think.
Well, like Arctic, we've said before, they're the only 2 comparables that we can think of that have a similar kind of. I guess I like. No, go on. I'm just thinking. I like with Oasis, for example. The only Oasis album that I truly really like is "Don't Believe the Truth," which most Oasis fans would call the end.
That's what I was just going to say. No, I've been reading. I've listened to a fair bit of Oasis last few weeks, like the Master Plan.
So to hear that, mate.
Album.
No wonder you've been depressed.
I know.
No wonder you're in hospital.
But a lot of people don't believe the truth is actually from the reviews and stuff like that. It still seems to go down well now. People seem to see it as like a bit of a return to form, and I did at the time. I enjoyed that at the time, to be honest.
Well, at the time it was, and I tell you what, this is an example of why there is. Arctic Monkeys get an album like Tranquility that gets poorly reviewed, and they just go, don't care, do another one that we want to do, right? Noel does something finally that branches a little bit out of the comfort zone with some tracks that aren't like the old stuff. Some people don't like it, and they go, oh no, we can't do it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? He bottled it because he couldn't handle not being the poster boys of like success and music. So that's the difference, I'm afraid, to a true artist.
There's a couple of songs that Liam wrote on, I think it was Heathen Chemistry and Standing on the Shoulder of Giants, which are the 2 albums before Don't Believe the Truth. And they're actually like good songs, even though they're written by.
Do you know that's a quote on the back of a.
It's on the side of a £2 coin, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. Yeah.
I hate that fact. It's the most troped out track. And everyone goes, did you know that? And like, yes, everyone knows.
Like, the two most boring pub quiz facts are that, and do you know what football ground is closest to the River Mersey?
No, what football ground is closest to the River Mersey?
People say Liverpool. People say Liverpool automatically, but it's not. It's Stockport County until August when Everton moved to a ground that's actually on the River Mersey. But it's just the 2 most boring, dullest facts ever.
There's another one that people have part of that's really does. Oh, it escapes me now. But yeah, no, I just thought it's kind of they're both right and they're both wrong, and I think I fall somewhere in between. But I think the bar's too low. I think 10 tracks isn't enough to call yourself a fan. I wouldn't call myself a Block Party fan. I'd call myself a fan of that album. But if I love like 2 to 3 Block Party albums, I would call myself a fan. Basically, is it worth going to a gig? I wouldn't go to a Block Party gig if I felt like they weren't going to play a lot of songs off the first album, like you just said. And if we were going to do a playthrough, Silent Alarm Show, I would go. So I suppose if I can confidently go to an artist's gig, knowing that whatever the set list is, I'm probably going to be all right, then I count myself as a fan. It's like I went to the We Are Scientists first album playthrough. I don't call myself a We Are Scientists fan. Me and my girlfriend heard the 2 songs. 2 songs are early on the album that we liked, and we ended up leaving halfway through because we were a bit bored. Like, do you know what I mean? We paid 20 quid each to watch Great Escape and Nobody Move, Nobody Get Hurt get played, and that I was happy with that. Yeah, I wanted to see them get played. I haven't heard them for 20 years.
I saw them live at Tramlines, actually. We are scientists, but we couldn't go anywhere because it was like torrential rain, and we were sheltering under trees and just had to watch We Are Scientists.
They're very funny.
And then
No,
they
they're very
played-
funny live. They play
are
like
very
gagged
funny.
and not that that's their remit, is to be funny, but you know.
No. And then we went to see Ed Byrne in the comedy tent, and he played some great songs.
Oh, I love Ed Byrne.
He did the whole We Are Scientists first album.
What sitcom does Ed Byrne make a cameo in the late 90s? There's a pub quiz fact for you.
Oh, I don't know. It's not Father Ted, is it? No, because that's not late 90s.
That was late 90s, wasn't it? I remember watching it as a kid.
Is it 96, 97? Yeah, so I suppose late 90s.
Oh, well, mid to late 90s, yeah. The Christmas special would have been, the Christmas special was a couple of years in there, wasn't it? So, so in the Christmas special, when he rings priest chat, there's a bit where two teenagers are going, wankers, priest, and one of them's Ed Byrne.
Yeah, you priest. That's right,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh,
So
God,
there you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
I've
should do
been
a,
watching Black Books again, and I was very upset to find that David Williams pops up in Black Books. Like, oh.
We should organise a drinking and weed smoking Christmas special night where we watch all the Christmas specials, all the classic Christmas specials.
Blue Velvet, do all the blues.
Father Ted, The Office, Extras. There are others, many others.
Royal Family.
Royal Family.
Before Dave got flanderized.
I don't want the one where she dies. That would make me sad. But turn Extras off before the Big Brother house bit.
That was a Christmas gut punch. That Royal Family special. I was like, oh God.
There's loads of others. I just have gone blank on which ones. Oh, the American Office Christmas specials are usually pretty good as well. Or Christmas episodes. The Friends Christmas episodes. Yeah. If I'm able to watch it, then still. Peep Show Christmas special. Go on. And New Year.
I love to do a Christmas episode just in the middle of a series. Just
give a fuck, Jesse, does he?
Here's the Christmas special you've been waiting like 7 series for. Cauliflower's not traditional.
Right, shall we jump in? I've got my got the questions ready.
Got the questions. Oh, hang on.
A lot of questions, so true fans. They're the true fans.
Really? They're definitely fans. They're definitely fans. Yeah, maybe.
Was all that paused? What was going on?
I was doing a bit of show admin, wasn't I? I was.
Okay. I didn't realise it
too much. Yeah,
I thought we were doing that on camera.
No,
I'm fine with that.
Live is on my county show.
I'm fine with that. We put it out a few times. Nobody replied. Fuck them.
Do you reckon in years to come, people are like, "Would you call? Are you a fan of Don't Believe the Hype podcast?" And they're like, "Well, I'm a fan of the early couple of series, but it really went downhill after that."
I'm a fan of the 2021 era, but 2022 era, but
then they went to LA and went up their own asses.
They had a successful podcast elsewhere, so they left it.
Right, let's do it. Yes. Right, here we go.
We're Arctic Monkeys. This is Don't Believe the Hype.
That rock and roll, eh? Ladies! That sound means it's the end of the round. Time for the bonus question. Cheers, dude. That man just yawned. We're gonna call it
Don't Believe the Hype.
Hello and welcome to Don't Believe the Hype, the podcast that can confidently and comfortably call itself a fan of Arctic Monkeys. Little reference to the pre-show chat there. Yes, this is Series 2, Episode 30, and technically probably the final episode of the series, although we'll be back with a couple of little specials with special guests like before around Christmas time, and then we'll be getting into Humbug Era with me, Nick Lee, and him, Dan Holt. Hello, Dan.
Hello, it's the last time. It's the last time.
We probably won't give the special episodes a number. They'll just be like special episodes, won't they? Because we don't give them like a.
I think they've already had numbers, haven't they?
It'd be nice to finish on 30, wouldn't it?
This is the 30th one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So this can be number 30, and that can.
Yeah, this is just part. This is part of the bonus run of this series, isn't it? So.
Yeah, they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, and then we can end it at 30. And I looked, by the way, the first series was 29, so we've done one. I think it was 28 or 29, so we've done a couple of extra episodes this series.
And I messed up because we didn't know the format properly with the first one. the car reaction episode that also had an episode number. This is really boring,
isn't it? But yeah, no, this is the last episode of the series. I mean, we finished the songs ages ago, but I quite like the covers episode that we did. I listened back to it when I was listening to it during Diamonds Are Forever, when Alex goes, I still run. Dun, 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 dun. My girlfriend said he hit that note perfectly, which I went, oh really? Because we said like his voice hadn't developed then, and she said no. From a singing point of view, he aced that. So I was like, okay, well there you go. He had it even then. He had the makings then.
Yeah, and
she went to a music college and stuff. That's why she knows about singing. Not. She's not just like my girlfriend said that, and it's fact, you know. Just to clarify for people.
Yeah, everything else.
Yeah, everything else she says is fact. I have to.
That anonymous opinions Twitter account is run by the same people who do Festival. There's a tweet on there tonight. That said, imagine how much better that Pulp would have been if they'd had a proper singer.
I thought that
really
would have
annoyed me.
Yeah.
I get angry
well,
at the state of this.
You didn't put the angry. The post that you put didn't display the anger, but I knew, as someone that knows you, that there's a scene behind that. Yeah. I thought, oh god, I didn't know if you were going to make it to the pod tonight. After that, to be honest,
someone in the replies had put a quote that David Byrne from Talking Heads once said, where he said, "The better the singer is, the less that you believe their words." I was like, "Oh, that's nice. That not true, but nice."
It's it depends what genre you talk. I guess the better the singer. Like, do I believe the word? Do I like the Killers? Yes. Do I believe the words that Brandon Flowers says? No. I guess if it's it depends where you are in the world. I guess if it's colloquial, you're gonna like get it more, I suppose, in a way. That's why we wrote the first album so much.
If you get onto some of the great like sad soul songs like Aretha Franklin and Simone and stuff, you can believe they've been hurt, even though they're fantastic singers.
You know the people that only like the first album, right?
Yeah.
This is perhaps a interesting. And they probably like AM as well. Everyone likes AM. Who doesn't like AM? Yeah. If they had their way, they'd still want AM to have been released, right? Can you imagine AM, but Alex was still singing it in a Sheffield accent? Wouldn't be as sexy, would it? Wouldn't be as sexy. If you're going like, so that would prove that they're wrong, that his voice shouldn't have evolved and changed stuff, because AM would be so much less sexy if he was doing the voice from the first album. So much less sexy. Do I want to know if this feeling is? We know what time it shoots.
Why'd you only call me when you're pissed?
Yeah, that's it. You know what? That's a great point actually to them. We'll save that for when I have an argument with one of them next. Note that down.
I'm trying to think of others now.
Yeah, just trying to think of more.
Knee socks would have been called tights, wouldn't it?
So we've got an interesting game on this. So we're doing a Christmas special. Spoiler alert for everyone. We're going to go away for a bit, and then we're going to do a Christmas special, and then we'll start Humbug, like second week of January. Probably second week actually, because you're not going to do it on the 3rd of Jan, are we? Let's be honest. We'll still be recovering from the abuse that is New Year's Eve. So we'll probably come back on whatever the one after that is, 10th of Jan. Yeah, and then not willing to commit. Much as his ex-girlfriend said, and well, there's a bit too much truth in that. So we'll come back then. But we're going to do a Christmas special, and we got a couple of our friends on, a couple of our listener friends on.
We should make it clear we've not got. When I said special guests, we've not got members of the band coming on, because to be honest, I don't know what we talked to them about.
No, but we've got special listeners coming on, and one of them's got a fun. I won't say what it is, but one of them's got a fun game for us in terms of Alex's lyrics that he's going to present to me and you. That's very, very interesting. But more on that at Christmas, which isn't that far away, really. But shall we do this tonight? We're doing a Q&A. We put it out there on socials for a while. Put 2 posts out this week. We didn't get many responses, but we had 3 listeners respond. And one of them has given us an interesting question. The other 2 have given us quite a few interesting questions to do. So I think we're quite set, to be honest. That's all we need. I'd rather have a few interesting questions than drivel from the masses.
I mean, if you want drivel, just go back and listen to 2 series worth of it.
I'm for the few, not the many.
All right, Corbyn. No, that's not Corbyn.
It's the opposite. Yeah. That's a Tory spin on Corbyn.
Look how it fucking went.
So shall we start? Shall we start the Q&A? So this one
so,
is
eh?
from Mr. Curtis. I always want to say his name in Welsh whenever he messages us for some reason because his name's Curtis Jones. That wasn't Welsh though.
Is it
what I just did then. That was
Is
Liverpudlian.
it Curtis Jones, Dan?
No, it's not.
Curtis
Is it?
Jones?
I don't think it
No,
is.
it's
Is it?
not.
One second.
No.
One second.
No. Curtis Gray.
Curtis Gray. Curtis Jones. Is Curtis Jones a footballer?
It's for Liverpool.
That's why I did a Scouse accent by mistake when I did it. That's weird. Oh, my brain works
I
sometimes.
just thought you couldn't do a Welsh accent. I assumed it was that.
Well, it's that and the fact that maybe I was thinking about Liverpool player. Sorry, yeah, Curtis Gray. Is Curtis in Liverpool? I've got a feeling he might be. Might have all just jumbled up in my brain.
I'm sure he'll email you in the next 10 minutes after this gets broadcast.
Probably.
So
he messages on the old gram saying
that's Instagram. That's not like Tinder for drug dealers.
no, but that's $1 million idea. In America, don't they? What's it called in America that they use to set they have a thing that they use basically to pay drug dealers with in America that no one can kind of trace. Venmo. When's that coming over here? Be handy. But so they say.
Cash App.
So he said, so I thought of a few questions that you could use. Sorry if they're not the best. Don't be. They're good. Don't sell yourself short, mate. Don't sell yourself short. Number 1, Dream Festival lineup, Friday, Saturday, Sunday headliners. Now he hasn't specified living or alive, so I think we have to do one where we can incorporate the dead, and one where we can incorporate the living. As I said to my girlfriend in bed last night. But I reckon. So let's do the dream one if they're dead. No, they don't all have to be dead, but dead and alive mixed. So I think mine would be. I think I'd have to go. Radiohead Friday night. No. Arctic Monkeys Friday night. Radiohead Saturday night. David Bowie Sunday night. But I'm trying to think if there's anyone that's dead that I'd rather have in there. Just because it's the dead one, because I can have Radiohead.
Take Arctic Monkeys as red.
And remove them from the.
Remove them
okay,
from the equation.
Just because you're having trouble thinking of 3, so you'd rather remove them, so it's easier for you. Yeah, we'll take it as red. We would both obviously have Arctic Monkeys in our Dream Festival lineup set, but we'll remove them.
We're getting VIP tickets, and Arctic Monkeys are playing for the VIPs on a Thursday night. You know, like Kendall Calling opens.
Yes.
Early.
Yeah.
So let's imagine that's happening.
I'll have you know, they did that at Leeds, and I got to see Pigeon Detectives. Thanks, and that was in the. I was going to say Prime then, but I don't think that ever existed.
That was in their heyday.
I was in their pump. But how old do you think he can get? He can keep singing about the 17 song. Like, is he still going to be in his 50s at gigs? Yeah, well,
I sent you that.
He's got all Ricky Wilson.
Calling, didn't I? I sent you that video of him playing Kendall Calling in like.
It was probably
depressing thing I've seen in my life.
Yeah, it was worse than watching Israel Gaza on the news. To be honest, it was really bad.
It's far worse. They've got it bloody
I don't have control of the edit of this podcast.
180 quid to see a 40-year-old man in skinny jeans and white Converse singing about shagging 17-year-old girls.
It's a complicated issue that none of us know. The Pigeon Detective's career, I mean. So Dream Festival, removing Arctic Monkeys. Well, I would. Well, Bowie is there. Bring Bowie back. Got to bring Bowie back for that because I never saw him live. One of my biggest regrets. Yeah. I'm going to not put Elton in there because I've seen Elton now and he did every song. So pretty much. So I'm going to remove Elton. But, if I hadn't seen him, he would be in there, I think, for me. I need to think of some artists. When your mind goes blank. So I'm going to say... Have you got 3? Have you got at least 1? I'm definitely having Bowie. I'm putting Bowie on the Sunday night, end of the festival. Bowie, he's there. He's locked in for me. Have you got Bowie on yours?
Yep.
What night?
Sunday.
Yeah, it's got to be on it.
Legend
really.
Slot, innit?
Legend slot, yeah. And who's more of a legend than Bowie? No one.
Can't go and see Bowie
except maybe the other person that you're going to have.
And then be like, oh, it's Elbow tomorrow night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything after that would be.
Follow that.
Although you could, because you're going to have an act in yours that could probably follow Bowie. To be
You
fair,
think?
I
don't
think
know,
Bowie's
you think
personally. I think Bowie's a better artist than them.
Are
Personally,
you thinking of Joy? Are you thinking of Joy Division?
no, I'm thinking of Beatles.
Yeah, they could do the Sunday, but I wouldn't because they've got enough pop tunes that I'd want them earlier on. I'd want.
Yeah, they're not going to do the pop tunes though. They don't want to. No, they can. Ooh, you know what? I would. Ooh. Can I have the Beach Boys, but they only play Pet Sounds? No, I'm not gonna have that because that's not fair. There's not enough. But I tell you what, I am gonna have though. I think I'm gonna have on the Friday night, Mr. Elvis Presley
Oh, yeah.
in his pomp, like in his prime Elvis. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine prime Elvis. What a sight to
I
behold.
love how when you see like people going as Elvis to fancy dress, they're always dressed as like fat Vegas Elvis who died on the toilet. They're never dressed as like cool 50s sexy Elvis.
There's literally a
Ever.
picture of me at a Halloween party 4 years ago on my Facebook, sat on a toilet dressed as Elvis at 2 in the morning. I'll share it on the socials. Great. It wasn't planned. I was just went as you know what? Because I was gonna go. The reason I ended up being Elvis is because I was gonna go as Jimmy Savile. And then the day before, I bottled it because we were going out to a club later on, and I thought I'm not going to get in, am I? I'm not going to get. They're not going to let me in. Yeah, so I bottled it. Not for any moral reasons, just to make that clear.
Of course.
I'm drawing a blanket, but I would have Elvis. Yeah, I bloody love Elvis. But who would I have? So Bowie and Elvis. Friday night Elvis, Sunday night Bowie. So you have someone great in the middle. Bloody hell. Imagine Elton in his pomp though, in the middle of that. When he was on the coke and that.
Is this not the Dead People's Festival though? Is this not the Reanimated Festival?
Oh yeah. Well, he's half and half, isn't he? I think we could do. We could do with a jig. No. It could be mixed. I think we said we could do it mixed, couldn't we? If you wanted, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do Dead and Alive, but you could have it mixed if you wanted to. I'm trying to think who else I would have in there. I just searched. I'm annoyed now because I just searched greatest artists ever, and they're all the usual suspects. And then Taylor Swift's in there, so that's annoyed me. I'd probably have because I'm just trying only because I'm trying to think. I've gone out of blank about who I would have in there. I mean, to have Arctic Monkeys in the middle of that would be my absolute like what a weekend. See Elvis Friday, Arctic Monkeys Saturday, and then Bowie on Sunday. I mean, if I'm gonna have it. I'm having it. But if I was gonna put another dead person in, name some dead artists. I can't think of anyone. Name me some dead. Name me some dead classics. No, I'm not. I am a fan, but I don't think I'd want them on the Saturday in between. So hard in it in between Bowie. I mean, if you're being offered that gig in between Bowie, in between Elvis and Bowie, it's hard. Let me see. I guess Arctic Monkeys in the middle of that would technically be my dream, but we've taken them as red, haven't we? So could have Radio. I've never seen Radiohead. Could have them in the middle. Oh my god, it's just been confirmed that Nigel Farage is going in I'm a Celebrity. Fuck me. Good job I don't watch it.
It's just been confirmed that Nigel Farage is dead then. I was about to go out
if only. Yes. If only. Give him a fucking poisonous spider to eat. Okay.
Well, that's great because no one else is going to have to do any tasks, are they? They're on to an absolute winner, the other people, because no one's going to be voting for them to do tasks when he's there, surely.
Who do I love? Who do I listen to? I've a complete blank about who I like here. Oh, Frank Sinatra, Sunday night. No, I'm moving Bowie. Oh. I'm going Elvis Friday, Bowie Saturday, Frank Sinatra Sunday. Done. Imagine that as a lineup. That's never been a lineup, has it? Imagine that. No. All in the pomp as well. All in the pomp. I just latched onto the word pomp now.
yeah, that's the word of the day. I'm going Joy Division Friday, Beatles Sunday, Bowie Saturday. Yeah.
Joy Division is a good one, you see. I would like Joy Division in there. But some of them are still alive, so what are you... Is it just if one member's dead that you can...
Yeah, if a key member.
Because you could have New Order and then have like an Ian Curtis impersonator in
thanks.
there.
No, thanks. I don't. I've seen New Order, and it was probably the best gig I've been to in my life.
No,
but
you
not
could,
because of the performance.
No, but you could have the members of Joy Division, and you could have what's his name that joined Queen doing Ian Curtis's bits.
I don't want to go to this festival anymore.
So Joy Division, Bowie,
I'll stay at home watching on
Beatles,
telly. Yeah, that's
and I'm going Elvis, Bowie,
Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra. Oh, they're both cracking. I mean, to be fair, I'd go to yours.
I'd go to yours.
Okay, so a live ones, are we taking Arctic out of that as well?
Yes, yeah, and a live
okay,
ones.
well then, easy.
A live
probably.
ones you can have bands. I think it's fair to say you can have bands that are split as well. I think.
So if we're taking Arctic Monkeys out of it, oh yeah. Arctic Monkeys taken out of it, I would have Friday night,
both festivals.
Yeah, because that means it would be Arctic Monkeys as a fucking palette, like. No, it would be Arctic Monkeys, then Elvis, then Bowie as a palate cleanser in for Frank Sinatra. Jesus. I'd have if we were alive, I'd have I'd have Black Keys Friday night, Radiohead Saturday night. I'm going to say this, but it's subject to change. Killers Sunday night. But Killers around 2011 when they'd had like everything up to the 5th album. I think they still pretty much do that set anyway, to be quite honest with you. But that would be my 3, I think. Yeah, it probably would be. Black Keys, Radiohead. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else I've kind of glossed over. Oh, because there's other artists, isn't there? That's the problem. I wouldn't mind seeing Kanye, but I couldn't in good conscience put him on there.
Well, I was thinking the same with Eminem as well. I was like, oh, do I?
You can have Eminem. Yeah, but Eminem's like more credible than. Well, only Kanye's pretty kind of credible, but he's ruined his like personal reputation. Yeah, I'd also love to see Blink again.
I
but
the first 2 albums. I'd only want the first 2 albums with Eminem, really. I'm not really asked.
Well, I've put the caveat at the. Yeah, I think I would. I think I would go that. Because when they send my raps, that'll probably be in there as that festival lineup thing that they do. Yeah, I think I'd go for that. Yeah, Killers Sunday. Because when I saw Killers at Leeds Festival on the Sunday in 2009, it was one of the best gigs. It was in my top 5 gigs. It was immense. So yeah. That's my 3. Sure 3.
My 3. Friday, White Stripes. Saturday, Talking Heads. And then it's the Sunday that's the tough one. It's got that's really hard getting a Sunday. Oh, Sunday maybe. Yep, they're all alive. The Kinks probably Sunday. Legends.
Oh.
I don't count the Who as a current band because they've got as many dead members as they have live members.
The Kinks, right? I'm taking the Killers out and putting the Kinks in, but I'm going Kinks Friday night, Black Keys Saturday night, Radiohead Sunday night. Yeah, you see, in my head, I'd forgot the Kinks full stop, but in my head, they're dead, like weirdly. You know, like one of those bands that you expect to be dead by now. But yeah,
gone in the night. You don't know, yeah.
Well, maybe.
Imagine one of them dies between now and this being released.
So Dead I went Arctic Monkeys on the Thursday, Elvis Friday, Bowie Saturday, Frank Sinatra Sunday. Live, I went Arctic Monkeys Thursday, Kinks Friday, Radiohead Black Keys Saturday, Radiohead Sunday.
And, yeah, so the first one I've gone Joy Division Friday, Bowie Saturday, Beatles Sunday, and then live I've gone White Stripes Friday, Talking Heads Saturday, Kinks Sunday. Yeah.
Very, very both respectable festivals that I'm sure everyone would love to go to.
The talk is that Talking Heads are going to be doing some gigs next year at that. Have you seen the Sphere in Las Vegas? Have you seen
Oh yeah.
Wow. Imagine
Vegas, baby.
Play Tranquility in there. Oh my God. That'd
Yeah, it's
probably
good
be the
to
best
shout, actually, isn't it?
gig I'd most want to go to. Arctic's doing Tranquility now, like an interactive, like live thing. Oh god! But yeah, apparently
We should
talking
go.
about, in talks to
I've
play
got-
that next year, which would be so cool.
Oh, wow. Vegas trip. Keep that open. So second question of his 7, Curtis Gray, not James. What song would you most love to hear Arctic Monkeys cover?
I've said mine. Based on the current era, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I'm still holding out for it.
That like no, not based on it, but like just ever. Like if you could have them cover any song, would that be it? Forgetting
I honestly think it
current
would.
style.
Yeah, I think it would.
Oh, mine would be My Way. I'd love to hear Alex doing My Way.
Oh, the world isn't ready for that.
No. Alex doing My Way. Alex doing My Way, or I reckon you could do a cracking Tranquility style cover of That's Life by Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That was easy than I thought. I thought we were going to be here for ages.
I know my answers. I'd love him doing Old Yellow Brick Road because it's got a good mix. It's got
Old Yellow Brick Road. Old Yellow Bricks
Old Yellow
Road.
Brick Road. Old Yellow Brick by Brick Road.
Goodbye. Down. Another thing we didn't say could possibly be a reference in that song. The Elton John song.
Yes.
Food for thought.
Everything we missed.
Third question. What 3 songs not currently on the set list would you like to hear being played? Hang on 1 second. Hold that thought. Because the other question... Okay, it is slightly different. They do encroach on each other. So I'm going to bring the other person's email in for this third question because they encroach. So we had another email from Justin in Seoul. You better say Seoul, don't you? Seoul. Yeah, you said Seoul, isn't it? Yeah. Congrats on wrapping up another... He sent us a message as well. Congrats on wrapping up another era. I stumbled across your podcast very early this year. I still remember listening to the episode on Beneath the Boardwalk, and as soon as you played the clips of the songs, all kinds of memories came flooding back. Since their debut album, there hasn't been a time I haven't followed or loved Arctic Monkeys. But listening along with you two this whole year is reigniting my passion for the band and reminded me why I love their music in the first place. You're going to make me well up. There hasn't been a week I haven't listened to the show, and I appreciate all the work you were doing. Oh, thank you. Nice to be nice.
Thanks, mate.
I'd like to send off with this question. If you could bring back one album track and one B-side to the live set now, what would you choose? Thanks again, Justin. So the other question was, what 3 songs not current set list would you like to bring back? So let's do the 3, because one of them would be,
right.
And one B-side.
I mean, you'll notice with a lot of these questions that before I answer, I will be like, "Can we just clarify?" So, can we just clarify? Because that's
Anorak
where
as
You're
ever.
Wrong and Potion Approaching have both popped up in the car era. So, do they?
Yeah, it can't be
in on the
anything.
set
No,
list?
it's got to be ones that aren't in the current
Thought
set
so,
list,
good.
I guess. That's kind of not currently on the set list, so yeah. But obviously the
Yeah,
set list
they've been played in
varies.
the car
But
era, so they kept
so
them
if we
valid
say
in the
any
set
that
list.
has
So in
been,
rotation.
apologies. You'll have to. You'll know better than I will what has been because that's your kind of jam. So if I say any, you'll have to correct me. But I guess not currently on the set list. If I could bring back any, well, number one is No Certain Romance was played at one gig. So is that not allowed? No. Okay.
Not allowed. It's been in rotation. They've been practicing it, ready for it coming out.
Okay. Well, then I guess was the Ultra Cheese played on this tour?
No, I don't think it was. I'm actually just checking now.
Oh yeah, there's a list of the actual songs on set list, isn't there, at the side? Pause it a sec while you're checking, because I just want some water. I'm parched.
Well, I regret to inform you, Dan, that the Ultra Cheese has been played 7 times on the car tour.
Okay, I'm assuming that the world's first monster truck front flip hasn't been played on this tour. I think we can say that pretty solidly.
Not been played ever.
Right, I'm going to put that as a mate because I do love that song, and I'm just thinking, I think they might all be Tranquility. You know? Oh no, because they haven't played. Oh, they did play Big Ideas, didn't they? Have they not played any off the car this tour?
Let me just.
I think they did. They haven't played. No, they haven't. They played them all, haven't they?
They've played them all. Hello You was the last one, wasn't it?
Okay. So that's gone.
Checking. Jet skis on the moat wasn't played, was it?
Ooh, interesting. See, that's the most Tranquility song on the album, I think. So it's interesting. I could have all Tranquility songs there. Right, so Humbug. Let me go for Humbug. In my mind, has Crying Lightning been on this tour? Because I don't remember. Yeah, of course it has. What are you talking about? Talking shit again.
Crying Lightning. Has
you're
been
talking shit, Gervais.
118 times on the car tour.
Yeah, has it been played?
Just one less than 505.
They played
every gig.
They played Potion Approaching? Then you said, didn't they?
Yeah, that's been in rotation.
Have they played? This is a testament to how much they do like play hits that people say they don't. Okay, so Suck It and See. Oh, okay, so they haven't played. Okay. So on Suck It and See, they haven't played Love is a Laser Quest on this tour, have they?
No. That's
then Love is a Laser Quest is in there. Number one. And they haven't have they played Hellcat on this tour? Ooh, maybe. And have they played? Hang on. Get them up, because I'm crap at remembering for some reason. So on so AM, I don't think they haven't. Have they played Number One Party Anthem on this tour?
Yes, they have. It came for the American dates quite late.
Oh, and they've played Knee Socks, haven't they? So that's out as well.
Yeah, that was earlier.
So Suck It and See. Yeah, I'm definitely having Love as a Laser Quest. It's definite. And they played Suck It and See, obviously, and they've played That's Where You're Wrong. They played Power Driver Waltz?
No.
Ooh, okay.
They've not played that since the Suck It and See tour.
I don't think there's any off AM that they haven't played that I'm too bothered about, to be quite honest with you, apart from that they played all the ones that I would want them to play. Yeah. Tranquility, then, I think is going to be the main. Have they played 1 Point Perspective on this tour? Yeah, I thought they had. Have they played American Sports on this tour?
Not played it ever at all.
Have they not?
No.
I think it's one of the most underrated songs off that album.
The closest we got is the Maid of Vale session. It gets played over the opening credits, but it ends before the vocals come in. That's
a shame, because I think those two songs belong together. Okay, so I'm gonna go American Sports. Love is a Laser Quest. And let me just double check. I don't think there's none on Favorite Worst Nightmare. Oh, fuck, yes, there is. Of course there is. What am I talking about? I'm going to have to give it then. If You Were There, Beware. Love is a Laser Quest. And American Sports. And the B-side, and the only other one that I would have as a kind of maybe to that would be Dangerous Animals of Humbug. But more on that coming, because I do love that song. But the B-side would actually give your 3 albums, and then we'll do the B-side.
Because my 3 tracks would be World's First Ever Monster Truck Front Flip.
Mm.
I will also have.
Did I say that?
Beware. No, you didn't in the end.
Oh, wait, then. I would have that over American Sports, I think. Wait.
Yeah, of course, because that's the. Yeah.
I'm trying to think whether I want to hear the piano of that and the dun, dun, and I was, or I want to hear me and Lizzie wearing Stetson hats. No, I know that's not the exact line, but wearing Stetson hats. Monster Truck Front Flip, Love is a Laser Quest, and If You Were There, Beware. Done.
Monster Truck Front Flip, If You Were There, Beware, and Jeweler's Hands. Thank you very much.
Oh, you know what? I considered Jeweler's Hands. I did consider it, but I mean, this I'd need, but it does go to show that there would only probably be a handful of songs that could make it into this list because they do perform so many of the tracks. So give them a bit of slack. Not you guys, but the rest of the cunts.
I know my B-side. I can pick my B-side is a toss-up between 2. It's either You're So Dark or Evil Twin. Done. I'm gonna go You're So Dark.
Oh well, I was gonna go You're So Dark, but because you've gone it, I'm gonna go left field and go Anyways.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah, that's a point. Yeah, didn't think
And
of
I think the person that sent in that question, Justin, because we've just covered favorite West Nightmare, and I know it's his favorite era, was probably thinking that we were going to go for one of the two selections from the list that we've got. Unfortunately, we are more boys where the boys. We are more fans where I suppose what
We
is
are
about
boys.
to where we're up to in this pod we have both loved, but where we're about to enter in this pod is really where things are kind of getting going for us, I guess, aren't they?
That's what we're excited for. Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as I'd love them to crack out Bigger Boys and Stolen Sweethearts, do I really need to hear it live over others? No, not really. But you also doubt would be an Evil Twin is an absolute belter as well. There's probably other ones I can say that I forgot that I like, but Evil Twin is
I
a.
genuinely think if we went,
But
to
we've
see
heard
them
Evil
and
Twin,
pl-
so because I have heard it because we both heard it.
I
So
think when we were there in June, seeing him at Old Trafford Cricket Ground, I think if they started playing Bigger Boys and Storm Sweethearts, I genuinely think at first we'd have been like, "Oh my fucking god, I can't believe this!" And then about 10 seconds in, we'd be like, "Bit weird, this isn't it? This,
I
not
don't
like
know
this, is
though.
it?"
I don't know though.
But it would be. It would be. A
It
bit,
would be weird,
Yeah.
still, but it would just never
I
happen.
can see where the band are coming from with like the early stuff. It's like, doesn't
Yeah,
feel right.
yeah.
So
There's
we
only
go
so many
being
ones. Like View from the
17, not being
Afternoon
girls.
works still, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah,
Works.
works. I think that's kind of why they don't do. I think even When the Sun Goes Down doesn't really work for them anymore.
Dancing Shoes could, I think.
Absolutely. Dancing Shoes could have been the only song actually
That
that.
was close to getting in
Oh
my
yeah,
oh.
Dancing. You know what? As well, that I would cover like Dancing Shoes is very close. Out of all the early stuff, If You're There Beware and Dancing Shoes, I think are the two. Oh, Still Take You Home though.
Oh.
God. Yeah. There's too many. There is too many, but they can't play. They can't play Still Take You Home. They could easily, you're right, incorporate Dancing Shoes like after Fake Tales. Would you want to hear that? The thing with Fake Tales is they probably feel like they're going to get shit because of the lyric in it, and everyone will go, "Hey, it's America."
That's what people say.
But no, I think I'm going to stick to them because I've never. Also, I'm going for ones that I've actually never heard live. I don't think I've ever heard "Love Is Laser Cross" live, despite it being one of my favorites off that album. And I've never heard Monster Truck live. They didn't do that at the. Oh, you didn't see him in Tranquility, but I'm fairly certain they didn't. No. And I mean, she looks like fun. Gets close, but I have heard that live. I'm sure they played that at the MEM when I saw them.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyways, I'd love to. If they cracked out anyways live, I'd be really happy because there'd be like such a low percentile of people that would know what they were doing.
Well, you know what? Since it's Friday night,
Listen to the shipping forecast.
Yeah,
there's that jingle we never use.
You know what? I absolutely rinsed that song during the first lockdown.
Banana Bread and Tiger King for some people.
So should we move on to the next question? Oasis or Blur? Blur. Done. Might be harder for you, this one.
Blur. No, Oasis were the first band I got into, but it soon became very clear it was just a gateway into like the Manics and Pulp and stuff.
I will concede that Oasis, obviously commercially, were kind of more successful than Blur, but I think Blur are the more interesting band. Yeah.
No, when it got announced that Blur were, they never really broke up Blur. It was just hiatus while they're all doing other stuff. But when it was announced that Blur were doing a tour, well, not even a tour, of playing gigs that they did this year, I was like, God, I really hope there's an album to go along with it. Whereas when Oasis eventually announced the tour, I'd be like, God, I hope there's not an album to go along with it. That's the difference. That's the difference. Blur can still create good stuff.
The last Blur album was great and made by our friend of the podcast, James Ford.
Arctic Monkeys alumnus, James Ford.
And Damon Albarn absolutely is in a sort of bromance with Alex, it seems. So, my God, if he pops up on the next Shadow Puppets album or something, oh my God. Bin Miles off and just go with Damon. Miles has got creepy. Yeah. Upgrade him to Damon. Damon's aged gracefully. Miles is not. Right. Fucking Christmas gig.
Did you notice with his, he's doing that.
I mean, to be fair, if I was Miles, I'd be doing all these cheesy gigs just to make money. I can't resent them making money.
Do you think he's doing the Christmas show in Sheffield because people will think Alex is going to pop up? So
why Sheffield? Yeah.
But then I know.
Yeah, but I reckon Liverpool Sheffield are his two demographics, right? That's where he's biggest.
Yeah, definitely.
With Manchester
Yeah.
being in there in the middle, maybe.
Yeah, quite literally. As well.
Miles is there for people that miss Oasis, really, isn't he?
Yeah, but then at the same time, he's not.
But
got the
Liam
massive
Gallagher is still
field
there, I guess.
that the Cortinas inexplicably have. Miles Kane's not going to sell out a field of 50,000 people like the Cortinas.
Oh no!
Push
But I
them
mean,
not
okay, when the Cortinas aren't touring, they don't really tour, do they? They just do like a big gig in Manchester, don't they? But when the Cortinas aren't gigging, when Liam Gallagher isn't gigging, and when Noel's not gigging, Miles is there for the Oasis fans to take up a bit of the slack. Do you reckon he designs his tours around them? Like, hit the key market here.
Yeah. Get the bucket hats made.
And when Arctics aren't touring as well. Funny how his tour starts just after Arctics have.
But on the Cortinas a couple of years ago, they sold out Hyde Park in London, and I was astonished. It's like when you find out that Peter Kay's doing like 6 months of gigs at the O2. You're like, what?
We've had Peter Kay's doing like a week at Vegas. Okay, so I say Blur and you say Blur as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I say Blur.
I was gutted I didn't go to see him in the summer.
Favorite movie soundtrack? No, I'm gonna go. We did this. So if you want our top 5 or top 10 subscribers, we did it at the start of one of our episodes, and that'll be in the episode description. But I was thinking about it. Tarantino's always good. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, a good one. Pulp Fiction, obviously. But I'm gonna go for the one that I went, which is Donnie Darko, because I've always loved that since a teenager, and I love my 80s synth and 80s music, and it's an absolute, from Mecca with the Bunnymen, Tears for Fears. Just, cracking soundtrack. Joy Division. Admittedly, Love Will Tear Us Apart again, but still, Joy Division in an American indie film.
Joy Division, Echo and the Bunnymen. Oh, God. I'd go... So, big mention for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, obviously. 24 Hour Party People, although I'd exclude that because it's just basically a collection of the songs that are featured by the bands in the film. It's not really...
It's not
really
coherent.
In
It's just a great... It's like if they released a Manchester CD. You know what I mean? If they a Hacienda CD, they'd be the same.
Yeah. Now that's what I call Hacienda, basically. But I think I'd have
Apartment
to
building.
go Trainspotting. I think I'd go for. Not just because of how it is in the film, but it fits the era as well. It's got such a good cross section of like the mid-90s sort of.
A great album.
Dance as well. It's
fantastic album. Yeah, cracking album. Atomic as well in there.
We have the Blondie version now, surprisingly.
Just before he sleeps with an underage girl, which I imagine did go on a lot in the 80s. So,
who had her tits and fanny out in the film?
Yeah. And then she was in Line of Duty. To be fair, she was in Boardwalk Empire as well.
That's the only 2 things she did. Got tits and fanny out in Trainspotting, and then did Line of Duty like 20 years later.
Boardwalk Empire in between, to be fair. Okay, next one. Wedding/funeral song. Now, wedding song is interesting because it's a topic of discussion at the minute. Not because I'm getting married, but because we just probably plan to one day. Look at me being committed like a grown-up.
Disgusting.
So we always said Sweet Dreams TN because that was a song that I sent her when we first got together and said, I never understood this song before I met you because of the old romantic that I am. But we have recently been going, okay, but will it work as an actual slow dance? Would we have to change it? So one of mine I love is Bowie's song off Young Americans, but unfortunately I think the song's about a breakup, so it makes it difficult, but it's a really cool song. It's not on the actual smaller release, it's on the extended version that isn't on Spotify. You have to go elsewhere to get it, and it's called Gimme hang on,
Give Me a Man After Midnight.
Imagine that as a first dance song, a gay wedding maybe. Bowie, gimme. No, it's not coming up. I'll have the. I can't believe I can't remember it. But it's a. Wait, let me go. Young Americans. But anyway, and I love the song "Only You" by Yazoo. So we were talking about maybe a different version of that or something because I love that. But then she says she hears it every day on Radio 2 at work, so it's kind of a bit annoying for her. So I think it's gone out the window, to be honest. But Sweet Dreams TN is the main one because it was a song that we connected with quite early. And so yeah, but I did always want this song by Bowie to be there, but it's called it's not on the list there. So anyway, I'll find it in a minute anyway. But funeral song, I'd quite like to come down the aisle in the coffin to Atmosphere by Joy Division and see everyone out with My Way. I know it's overdone, but you get emotional in it. That would be
I'm
my kind of
Atmosphere by Joy Division,
Yep.
but I'd have Atmosphere by Joy Division at the end of the funeral, and I'd have a little comedy one to come down the aisle. So when they're bringing the coffin in the funeral, I'd have I'm Getting Buried in the Morning by Half Man Half Biscuit.
a comedy one.
Yeah.
One foot in the grave. Yeah. No, that is pretty good. Yeah, I've kind of be going for, like, to quote Mac in Always Sunny, I'm not going for laughs, I'm going for gasps. But yeah, I would. I think that there's probably a couple of others, to be honest, but it's not really something I like to really meditate on too much. if I'm being honest.
No, that's why I've decided already. Done.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing. I can't find the full version of the Bowie album anywhere, the full track listing for some reason. It's like
I've been looking, and
it's like, and I had a torrent of it, the full one, and then obviously I don't have an iPod anymore or anything, so I don't have the torrent. But then the full version just like is nowhere. And I know the name of the song. It's called like "Give Me Something" or "Give Me a Reason" or something like that. But for some reason it isn't there. It isn't there. But yeah, so wedding song. What was what you have got married? Divorced, albeit, but what was it at the time?
Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues. And
that's nice.
Yeah, I probably have that again, to be honest.
Wouldn't be welcome at a gay wedding, probably.
No, recycled.
That's good that your new wife, when you that won't be used again. If you were getting married again and she found out that the song that you'd picked was also used at your last wedding, there's no way that'd be happening.
I'd probably go Driving Saturday by Bowie.
Oh,
for the wedding one. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but the other one, whatever it is, I'm fairly certain the song is really romantic and emotional, but I'm fairly certain it's about a bad relationship or a breakup. So because there's a couple of lyrics where I'm like, oh yeah, that wouldn't quite sound right during the wedding thing there. But yeah. Okay, next question. It's called "It's Gonna Be Me," and I recommend everyone goes listens to it because it's like an 8-minute song.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me, which is kind of romantic, you think, but then I think there's a bit where he's like, I woke up this morning and you start. It's like, yeah, there's bits that sound like a breakup.
Hey Jack, I better shake it off, put her out of my head, thinking I bawled just another young girl last night. Oh brother, I left a woman in that morning bed. Been on that trip so many times. Leaving another girl to weep over the breakfast tray. Yeah, don't go with that one, Dan.
No, but what if the song is about how I was that sly dog, but then I fell in love and getting married? Probably best not to remind people about the sly dog bit, though, is it?
When you use that train of thought to try and justify it, can I please be there? Can I be a fly on that wall?
Oh, she knows we've listened to it, and she actually said musically it would be a fantastic first dance. It would be really emotional, but the lyrics.
Karaoke version.
Yeah, you got to have the lyrics, though, haven't you? You got to have some lyrics. But yeah, I think we're leaning towards Sweet Dreams, to be fair. But maybe get the wedding band that we would have to do some kind of slower version of it, perhaps, because I think the lyrics are great. But yeah. So yeah, I'll get Alex to do it if I'm famous by then.
This is the
like singing at weddings.
The ideal scenario, Terry.
So last one from Curtis. Favorite bands from each decade, 60s to present. So I'm going to go 60s Kinks. You're going to go 60s
Beatles, because I've been on a big.
He's
it would be the Kinks normally.
He's
But
put bands, but do you think he means artists? We can have Bowie any decade, really.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
This one.
We'll stick to bands.
Actually, he's releasing enough. Are we sticking to bands? So I can't have Bowie.
No, we'll stick to
Type
bands. I think.
bastard. 70s.
Yeah, he's
I'm not a big
classic
70s
band.
guy. That's the problem. Name me some 70s bands. Are we both going Kinks or have you gone Beatles?
I've gone Beatles.
Ooh.
I've gone Beatles. Yeah.
Bands, you see, bands. 70s bands. Name me some 70s bands because I'm not a big 70s guy, really.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a lull in between the 60s and the 80s, isn't it? The 70s. It's not. It's good. There's some great stuff, but not like the only stuff I love from the 70s I can think of is Bowie. But I think Ziggy Stardust is 70s, isn't it? Oh, I'm having Bowie because he has a band, doesn't he, with him? I'm having Bowie for the 70s.
Yeah,
Got to.
All right, go on.
That's when some of his best work was. So, but if it was bands, what would you say? Because you probably Zippo
See,
from Rainbow.
I'd want to play Zippy for a start.
Is it?
I
don't know. Oh, Zippo lighter. Yeah, of course it is.
Zippo's
I
a
don't
fucking lighter.
I don't know. I'm not following
Last
nonsense
place
like
you want a lighter is near all them puppets with all that felt about. Jesus Christ, they'll go up like woof, puff, it'll be up. I didn't want to say
That's
Joy
an
Division for 70s because they were only 1 year of the 70s, really. Joy Division
Ooh,
were like
but
79.
I'm doing that. I'm having it. I'm having it. If that counts, that's the band I'm having. If they did a song in the 70s, because I can't. Oh, Fleetwood Mac. Not my favourite band.
I think I'm gonna have to have Zeppelin.
I'm going Joy Division if they're having 70s because they're not. They can be your 80s one, but they're not my 80s one.
But then I can't have they can't be my 80s one because then I've got the Smiths and the Stone Roses, and then the Stone Roses left with my 90s one. So where does it end?
Well, the Stone Roses, I would class them as 90s in pop culture.
But most of their releases were between like 87 and 89. Though they released more.
Yeah,
stuff
but
between 87
for
and
some
89
reason
than
in
the
pop
90s.
culture, we associate them with the 90s,
They
don't
get
we?
lumped in with the Manchester thing, don't they? Yeah.
80s. So 70s, I'm having Joy Division. You're having
See, I should have Joy
Zeppelin
Division
because you need to have Joy Division, don't you? So when are you going to have them?
Favorite bands. I'm gonna have to have Joy Division.
It's where Arctics go is the question because they've been my favorite band for 2 decades.
I know where I'm having Arctic Monkeys because there's a definite lull in the quality of music that I'm into at a certain point. So I know what decade I'm putting Arctic Monkeys in. I'm gonna have to put them in the 2010s because.
Oh yeah, 2010s for me as well. Sorry, I thought you meant. What was the lull?
No, in terms of I'm not in it. There's not as much music from that era that I'm into.
Sorry.
Revisiting old stuff.
I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant Arctic Monkeys lull in the early 2000s. I was like, when was the lull?
Why would I come to you with an Arctic Monkeys lull after 2 series and like 70 odd episodes?
That's why I was so perplexed. I can confirm because I'm on Greatest 80s Artists just to remind myself, and Stone Roses are in this list of 80s artists. So you go in Joy Division or Zeppelin?
I'm going Joy Division for the 70s because like my second favourite band ever, so I can't not.
Okay, so 80s. The problem with the 80s is I love loads of 80s music, but it's like 1 or 2 tracks from each artist. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm trying to think who my definitive one that I would go and listen to loads from. Maybe I should have had Joy Division then. I will say this: Joy Division are classed as 76 to 80, so they should be 70s really.
But he died in like May 1980, and the last release was like.
So they should be 70s. So they should be 70s then. Yeah, absolutely.
But would you rather listen to Unknown Pleasures or Closer?
No, but it's got to be, I think, from when the band were predominantly releasing stuff, not just when the best album was released. So you can have Joy Division 70s.
2 albums. One album was 1979, one was 1980.
Yeah, so they count. I think they count. You could have either, I guess, but I think for the purpose of this being easier, 70s. So Kinks, Beatles, Joy Division. 80s is tough, man. Are you going Smiths?
You go Smiths, yeah.
I'm going U2. No, I'm joking. Trying to think.
That's the U2 stuff I like, actually. Good point.
It is hard because I love 80s music, but there isn't like one artist that I rinse because they release so much. I think I'm trying to think which band overall would have the most songs I would listen to from the 80s over and over again. I guess the Smiths would be one because they're probably one that I've got the most songs. So the Smiths are are an option. I've got a playlist of 80s songs, and the most bands get is I've got like 2 or 3 Duran Duran songs. That's like it. Tears for Fears, I've got like 3 or 4 songs in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go Smiths because I adore 80s music, but there isn't a definitive artwork, which says a lot of. Is that a good? That's a good thing about the 80s, that it's just a lot of good tracks, but also bad that there isn't someone that just like made seminal albums the whole 80s, apart from the Smiths, you could say.
If the Smiths didn't exist, I'd be having Half Man Half Biscuit for the 80s. But
yeah, but they've been around for yonks, so.
83, I think, Half Man Half Biscuit. Yeah.
There might be someone I've completely forgot. Duran Duran are a good shout, 'cause I love quite a few Duran Duran. They've probably got they've got a good selection of songs for the 80s as well. But there's probably someone that I'm horrendously forgetting. But I'm gonna go with the Smiths, I think, for the 80s, probably. If you pin me down on it. 90s, I'm gonna go Radiohead, because that's one of my favorite albums. Yeah, probably one of my 2 favorite. Not my 2 favorite, but OK Computer is just absolutely insanely incredible. So I'm going Radiohead for the 90s, and that's also when they feel like they were. When you think of them, the 90s is kind of what comes to mind, I guess, even though they've been around all this time. Yeah, but Blur would be there, and Blink-182 would be there for me, but I'm going Radiohead.
Do I go Mannix or Pulp? Pulp. I don't even know why I had to choose between the two. Then it's definitely Pulp. Pulp for the 90s.
I could go Bowie for 70s, 80s, and 80s, and 60s.
Yeah, I mean,
70s and 80s, couldn't you? Yeah. Pulp. Good.
Yeah. Pulp 90s. Yeah.
So 2000s. This is difficult because it's a bit like the 80s, where there's loads of bands where I like some tracks. Because if I had it my way, I'd go Arctics for both. Oh, yeah. You know what? I went Kinks for 60s, but what Sinatra? I think Sinatra's 50s, isn't he, really? Yeah. My way was 60s, but the rest was 50s, really, wasn't it?
And 50 for the interest.
50s, who would you go for? I go 50s. Frank Sinatra.
Johnny Cash. 50s.
Good shout. 40s? 1920s. 2000s is difficult because technically I could go Arctics 2000 and I could go Black Keys 2010s, because during the period between AM to Tranquility, I really got into Black Keys. Well, from 2012, and then had a break for AM, and then continued with the Black Keys. While there was that, because there was that 5-year gap. That's probably why you ended up listening to loads of old stuff, because there was that 5-year fucking lull of no Arctic Monkeys. Yeah. So I went Black Keys then, but my favorite Arctics music is after 2010, 2011, Suck It and See, 2013 AM, 2018 Tranquility. So I have to go Arctics for that decade, but I would go Arctics for both. I'm going Arctics for both. I'm breaking the rules and I'm going Arctics for both, because he didn't say we couldn't. Because if I think of from 2005, they've been everything to me, so they have to be there. But if you were going to pigeonhole me on a band to put in the 2000s with them, if I had to, I would say either the Libertines or the Killers.
Right. So see, those bands all figured into it for me as well. So for the 2000s, I've had to discount Libertines because
it's when their best work was.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, they were only like active for half of that decade. But the same goes for Arctic Monkeys. They were active for the second half of that decade. I've forgotten the Strokes as well. No, I'm going.
Yeah, Strokes are hard, aren't they? But
based on your reasoning of liking like Suck It and See onwards, I'm gonna save Arctic Monkeys for the next decade. And 2000s, I'm gonna say White Stripes.
Of course you would. Yeah, it's easy for you.
4 or 5 good albums in that era.
Yeah. 2010's Arctic Monkeys, and I would say the Black Keys were important to me then as well. If you the 3 years into this decade, do you have a new artist?
The closest I've got to a new artist, really. I do. Someone who I do really like, who I'm not sure. I don't think you're a big fan of. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan. I like the first couple of albums, and it's like singles. But no, the Vaccines. I really like the Vaccines.
I like the
Cabbage,
first
I really
album.
like. Cabbage, I thought they were going to be like massive. They were going to be like the next big thing, and then
Weren't they
just
before?
didn't.
Yeah, I suppose because
Yeah,
I
they
saw
were
them.
before.
I saw them
They
before.
broke up. They split
Yeah.
up 2020. So
I'm trying to think of
um,
who I don't know. Yeah, it's all been old bands I've been getting into the past 3 years, so I can't. It's all been
Really?
doing like Elton's discography, doing Radiohead's discography. So there's not really been a new artist. If the closest thing to a new artist that I would shout out to White Lies as well for the noughties.
Yes.
The closest to a new artist I could say, I suppose, Blossoms were. And it wasn't in this bit though, was it? When they were good. At first, I thought they were
2016.
going to be my new Arctics. Again, they filled the gap that was left by Arctic Monkeys at the time, a void. But yeah, no. So there's a few out there, but yeah, really, it's got to be Arctics for both decades ultimately. But the Killers meant a lot to me, so the Killers are in there as well, and the Libertines. So yeah,
I think in terms of 2020s, quite like Dry Cleaning and possibly Pete Doherty. I think Pete Doherty's done like a couple of solo albums since 2020. So
I'm trying to think if I've seen anyone new in this, but I don't think I have. Obviously, to be fair, a lot of this pandemic was a pandemic affected a lot of this, so there wasn't a lot going on either.
Yeah,
So,
that's it.
So to be fair, yeah, it's a hard look. Get back to us when we'll do that again, and when we end near the end of this podcast, when it's like 2026, there might be some new artists that we both love. I did go through a phase of loving Tom Odell in about 2019. He did an album that I really loved called Wrong Crowd, which I think is a great album, and I stand by that. Okay, so next, so that's the end of Curtis's. We now move on to the big Higgs Higgs.
Mr. General Higgy.
Matty Bo Higgsy. Higgy. Higgles. Higgle
He got the
Piggle.
grass stains out of his trousers. That's not real life.
Higgsy. Higgledy Piggledy.
The Higgs boson telescope.
Rolling in Higgs shit. Higger and Winnie Pooh. Any more?
Higgers with attitude.
That's amazing.
We
Yeah.
found our level. We found our level now. Send in your name and we'll do puns on it. Get in touch.
Pay us, we'll do it. I'm trying to think, is there anyone? Just see if there's any famous. I mean, I had that someone that was a announcer earlier had the last name Higgins, but I think I figured of someone else. John Higgins, snooker player. So he's not announced by RSA Record, by the way, just to clarify. That was the name that came up when I searched it. Yeah, but this is from Matt
Shouldn't be
Higgins.
around snooker balls, then, should he?
Matt Higgins, regular listener, regular contactor, regular podcast show friend. He said,
Regular jacket size.
because he's a fan of the Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, and Carl Pilkington shows, such as we. And he sent us a message saying, I was thinking you could use the 10 from the Inside the Actor studio. I was listening to Ricky, Steve, and Carl the other week, and it's just come back to me when Carl answers them. So I'm going to fire them at you, and I'll give an answer as well. Number one, what is your favorite word? You know what? People are going to be annoyed by this, but I love the word cunt. I love it. I love using it.
Favorite curse word is another question, though, isn't it? So it might come out there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, favorite word would be. Oh God, there is one that I love using. So hard, isn't it? On the spot.
I know what mine is.
Go on.
I know it's something that I didn't realize I say a lot until 3 separate people mentioned it to me. In fact, it's quite poignant in the wake of Matthew Perry passing away as well. Perfection. Apparently, if someone offers me something, I'll be like, "Oh, that'd be perfection," and I never realised I did it. So, perfection.
That reminds me of in
Otherwise,
Kirby Enthusiasm. He keeps getting annoyed because somebody keeps saying the word heaven all the time. Just ask him something and I go, "Oh, that's heaven." And he keeps getting wound up by it. I'm trying to think. Come back to me. There's a word that I love to use a lot, and I just can't think what it is. But least favorite word, Nick. Oh, I know this is a classic one that people say, but it does make me feel icky. Moist does make me feel a bit grim.
Moist, gusset.
Yeah. Farage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I like the word caveat.
Caveat's a good word. Yeah, I think I've used it.
Isn't
twice
there a
now,
word
yeah.
that we say? I always say on here. We always say that. I keep saying it. I can't think what it is, but there is a. I love the word caveat. I love the word hypocrisy. I love. Just saying words now. I feel like that bit in Steve Carell in Anchorman. I love lamp. I love.
It's the bit where Parks and Rec, where Ron Swanson gets his typewriter. He's like, I'm going to type every word I know. Monday, butthole.
I'm going to think on that. But what turns you on? Now, does this mean sexually? Or does this just mean things that you like? Thank God. I'm glad I asked before I answered, because that'll be like Gareth in the office with the
Two lesbian sisters, probably. I'm just watching.
You've been spying on us. I'd go. What turns? So, as in, like, what I'm interested in the most.
Yeah, I think what gets your brain going? What gets
writing?
Yeah,
creative writing.
Having a creative outlet of some sort. Yeah, that's what I'd say. That's one.
No, but what's yours?
Podcasts.
Yeah, creative. Yeah, definitely. To have some, because when I didn't have this particularly, I would be driven crazy by not having a creative outlet. So yeah, if it was sexually, then feather dusters on my ball sack. So what turns you off? And Zaf would be hate. As in, I know we say we hate this and we hate that, but I mean proper hate, serious hate. Hating people, hating people who need love.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
and
hating
the division.
Yeah,
with it. Like causing division for the sake of
yeah.
Causing
Racism. I know. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to give a fucking answer to be the win Miss World, but yeah, like racism and hate.
You know what I hate, Dan? I hate famine.
Do you know what I hate actually? To be topical with the Israel-Gaza thing, I hate people hating other people just for where you're born, or you're born on a spinning rock in an unended universe by chance, billion to one that you're alive. Don't get annoyed because he lives over there. You know what I mean? It's silly. Don't waste your whole life hating people for no reason. And there you go. Most poignant thing I'll say.
To link in with what you just said there, but not to get too heavy, and we'll move on from it as quickly as humanly possible. Equating people who equate criticism of Israel's doing in the past to being anti-Semitic. Is
that aimed at your dad?
It is in the last few weeks. He didn't give a shit until something about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, so things like racism, homeless, people that hate race, are racist, people that hate the homeless, things like that, definitely. Yeah. And Ted Lasso. So I hate Shawshank Redemption. I'm going to come out. There's dozens of us. But what sound or noise do you love? The sound of Arctic Monkeys in my ears, obviously. The sound of Alex Turner's voice.
Yeah. Music that moves me. The sound of music that moves me. It doesn't have to be Arctic Monkeys.
If we're going off music, I quite like that little noise your laptop makes when you turn it on. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love the sound of ice dropping into a glass just before you put booze in it. Ooh, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. And a noise, sound or noise that you hate. Right wing speech.
Scratching, like noises that go through.
Oh yeah.
When you're wearing denim, the scratching on denim.
Yeah. I do hate that. You know what I hate? I hate noise when I need to sleep. Any noise when I need to sleep winds me up. Like snoring. I was just snoring. Actually, that's my worst one. I listen to rain sounds because my girlfriend snores, and because I can't. If someone snores, I can't. Some people they'll be a bit annoyed and then they'll fall asleep. I won't sleep if they're snoring. So snoring, hate snoring, and I snore, so I'm a hypocrite.
That's why you've got elbows.
Favorite curse word? Done.
Yes, although.
And I would to clarify, I would never call a woman a cunt unless she was being a cunt. But no, unless she was a like for example, like Swallow Braverman. Yeah, people like that. But I would never call it to a face still in an argument. I would never call a woman a cunt. But it's just it rolls off the tongue. It's the perfect word, cunt. It's just perfect. And Americans listen to probably. I think the English use cunt very differently to the Americans do. We do use it in a jovial way.
You know what I've got really into? Using cunt as a verb. So from watching the
He
football,
cunted.
someone thought, he's absolutely cunted that.
Yeah.
use that.
Piss kidney.
I use that a lot. Absolute piss missile.
Is yours cunt as well then? As a verb though?
Yeah.
What profession? What profession other than your own would you like to attempt? Well, writing, because I'm trying to attempt it every day. What profession would you...
Being music supervisor for TV or film, being the one who chooses which songs they decide to license for TV shows. I'll take that as well.
Oh yeah, I've always thought that musical supervisor. Yeah. What profession would you not like to do? You know what? I would absolutely. You've done this, but I would crumble in any kind of. Well, take that as read. Profession. I would.
World's oldest, mate. World's oldest profession.
I would hate any kind of. Although it's on. Like my girlfriend always says this. There's been times when I think it looks fun, and she goes, "It's not." You think it looks fun because you don't do it.
I know what you're gonna say.
Working behind a bar.
Yeah.
And she always goes, no, it's not fun because it's fucking hard work, and you just think it looks fun because you just think they're having a great time drinking and that, but it's not. But I also recognise that that's true.
Sunny. That's the problem.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, but I also recognise that I would crumble. Being a chef, when I see high-end chef stuff, I'm like, fuck, I could never do that. I would crumble. I start crying straight away. And serving people. When I used to have to go in the Morrison's cafe, I hated it. I couldn't. The bit where you walk out with the food and everyone's looking at you, hate it. So no, I'd hate to do any of those. Obviously, classics like cleaning shitters and stuff would be, Yeah. I'd hate to be that bloke that has to walk around at 4 and sit in that little thing at 5 in the morning when everyone's going hometown from pissed, cleaning the streets. Because that's when I know it's time when I should be in bed when you hear that.
With a little brushes.
Yeah.
Do you ever just want to lie down in front of it and have the brushes give your face a wipe with all the dirt of the evening?
I think that was question 3. What turns you on? So yeah, what possession? So you have worked behind a bar. So what would you not like to do?
So, in terms of working in a bar thing, since I always thought I'd be quite happy to do it again, but since lockdown, everyone's forgotten how to behave. People are just bigger twats than normal now. So in terms of what I think it's the same ones you've listed. To be chef would be another one. I love cooking.
I love cooking, but at my own pace.
For more than 4 or 5 people, no chance.
Yeah, I'd crumble straight away, especially when someone's shouting and so much is riding on it. Like, so when you watch those chef shows, it's like, wow, a lot's riding on this, in the moment. I was just watching that Boiling Point TV show because I watched the film not long ago. And it's just like, no, I'd crumble.
It's too much for me.
Oh, yeah, it's too much. And the bear as well. But I would crumble straight away. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've done some. Yeah, I wouldn't like to go back to Morrison's. But go back to Morrison's and it's the same management team that were there when I left. That would be the worst thing I could imagine in my world. I would rather clean shitters than do that, to be quite honest with you. To go back and I have to come back with my tail between my legs. Well. Oh god, I think I've had a nightmare about that. That'll be hell if I go if it exists and when I go there, that would be it then. I didn't mean to preempt the next question, but I accidentally did. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? I'd like him.
Some post for God here.
I'd like him to say everything that sounds. No. I'd like him to say, "Till death do us part counts, and you can do it as much as you want." That's what I'd like him to say.
I'm quite
Yeah.
I'd like him to say.
I'd like him to say, "Come in," because I don't think he will.
That's the main issue. I'd like him to say, "Turns out I do exist." That showed you.
Do you know what?
Wi-Fi password is over there. The jukebox is free. Help yourself to drinks from the bar.
Do you know what I'd like to say from a profound point of view? I'd like him to say, because I've said this a lot. I'd like him to say, right, you know all the stuff that they tell you you have to do to get in here in real life. I'd like him to say, look, you did some drugs, you had unmarried sex, you did some bad things, but you didn't kill anyone, you didn't rape anyone, you were generally nice to people, so you can come in. You don't have to you lived your life. You didn't hurt anyone. You just did a couple of mistakes and did some stuff that so you can still come in. I'd like him to say that rather than having to live your life like some prude. Yeah, and just go, you know what? You didn't actually hurt anyone. You didn't. I think the only rules there should be is, don't rape anyone, don't kill anyone. And that's it. You know what I mean? Surely that's it. That's all we need to not do is right, do that and then come in, because the rest of it's just life, right?
Yeah, agreed.
That got very profound, this. I suppose that's the point of the... But what about you? What would you like him to say? Would you like him to say... Would you like him to turn to St. Peter and go, there goes Nick Lee, the man that put a smile on every face he met?
No, I just want, like, Wi-Fi passwords over there, jukebox is free, help yourself to anything from the bar. Done. It's some tokens for the jukebox, because it doesn't take money.
David Bowie and John Lennon are sat over there.
One of them's not going. One of them's making it.
Two of them, really. Oh, no, but if we're going by my idea of heaven, neither of them ever killed it. Well, it was the 70s, I guess. I can't really say that with any confidence, can I? Can't really say neither of them ever raped anyone either, with any confidence. Yeah. Oh, I'd like him to say, by the way, Jimmy Savile's not here.
I'll come in.
I'll come in then.
Where's my room? Show me to my cloud.
Yeah. That's it, Nick. That's the end of the questions and the end of this series.
Isn't that nice? I mean, it was a nice note to end it on, and then we went with all the rape with Lennon and Bowie.
I'll cut it out. I'll cut it out so it sounds nice.
Before that.
I'll cut it out so it sounds nice.
Oh, yeah,
but
this has been series 2.
Yeah, and despite Nick's wishy-washy commitment, we will be back January 10th with the My Propeller, baby. Are you as excited as we are?
My propeller, your propeller, it's everybody's propeller.
Yeah. Get that spinning.
Well, we can get it started on our own, and we will in January. And we'll be back before Christmas with a couple of extra episodes. We've got a little quiz. I'm in the middle of putting a quiz together.
Yeah, it'll be all in the Christmas special, won't it, probably? And
quiz, yeah.
I imagine we'll probably release that whatever the closest Wednesday to Christmas is, which is the 22nd. So we'll probably release that on the Twitter.
We'll make it. You can get yourself a pad and a pen and a drink and some cheeses, because Christmas is all about cheeses, as they used to tell us at school. So do that.
It was the year that Jesus was born.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna get some Baby Bell because they said it's about baby cheeses. So
Franken.
To wrap it up there. Franken cheese.
Franken cheese. Franken cheddar. No.
Say goodbye to the nice people, Dan.
Borsan sounds like something they'd give you. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Don't Believe the Hype is hosted and produced weekly by Nick Lee and Dan Holt. The music used in the titles is royalty-free music courtesy of Les FM. Don't forget to subscribe on your podcast player of choice to be notified every Wednesday when a new episode is released. And if you want to help us out further, be sure to like and review to help make us more visible to like-minded souls. We will see you next week with more of the same.
Hey, there it is, the last one. Well, like we say, we will still be doing content for you guys, so you don't need to worry.
You're still going to be getting your regular subscriber content, Last Shadow Puppets, watch along. We're due another watch along before then, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think of one that fits the era. Well, maybe a kind of. Oh, we could do a Shadow Puppets one, first album, maybe.
Yes. Maybe we'll watch the. Seeing as we've nearly finished the Shadow Puppets album, maybe we should watch the Electric Proms gig.
I feel like we have, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's not really another. Is there another televised Shadow Puppets full gig that we could even watch from the first album?
No.
No. We'll do that then, I guess. or an Arctics one that we think of that's around the time of Live at the Apollo. Glasgow 7? Glasgow 2007?
Maybe.
Could do that, can't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly.
Maybe we could do Glasgow 07 and Proms as a watch along joint special.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. I don't think they're that long, are they? Glasgow is, but how long's Proms? Like 45 minutes?
No, I think it's longer than that because it's the
Oh, is
whole
it?
album, and then there's there's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 covers and B-sides and stuff as well.
Oh,
Look.
scratch that then.
Let me have a gander now. Hang on. Let's see. It's on YouTube. It's 1 hour 3 minutes. The Electric Proms is.
Oh, okay, a bit long then, because the gig will be 120, won't it? So the file will end up being too huge. But yeah, we will do. I think people would want Glasgow 07 more than a Proms though, so we'll do Glasgow 07 as well. And we're gonna do there'll be 2 Shadow Puppets episodes dropping. Maybe we'll drop 3 Shadow Puppets in the 2 months. Get the album finished before Christmas, because I think we missed a month at one point. So because something happened. I think it was May when everything was happening. So
get on the B-sides after.
And we get on the B-sides, and then it won't be long before we're on. It'll be like summer when we're on second album. So there you go.
Good timing.
Good timing.
Good summer album.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys and gals for paying.
Yes, it's
and
much
subscribing.
Thank you.
And yeah, like I say, we're going to be putting out content. We'll be back with My Propeller. I mean, I guess for these guys, we'll be putting out My Propeller on the week before the 10th, won't we? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, the 3rd. So we're back on the 3rd for you guys, but we'll be putting out content anyway, and we'll be. We got Liquor and Lyrics as well. Check out Liquor and Lyrics. Come listen to us.
Yes, we have. We've got 8 episodes out. Probably we'll have a couple more out by the time this goes out.
Early this week, so we'll have 9 out. Yeah, we'll have just about Rockstar by Post Malone, which is my favorite episode.
I've got another music podcast starting at some point.
Oh, have you?
Well. Yeah, someone's asked me to do a podcast. It's not doing it to go anywhere, just as a passion thing, really. Doing a little half man, half biscuit thing.
But yeah, that is niche. I thought Arctic's one was niche.
A man who does niche podcasts. I'm finally doing the most niche podcast ever.
Jesus, that's like. I mean, if we get let's say when Arctic Monkeys get into the minutiae, we drop listeners and we're down to like 200-300 fans, then the Half Man Half Biscuit podcast must be attracting under 100 at that point, right?
Well, what we do is we're going into the fan groups and on the fan websites and stuff, and we're going to get a list of the most popular songs and just do them. We're not doing track by track. We're just going to do I think the fans do like a World Cup thing every year and pit songs against each other. So we're just
all 5 of them.
Top 32 and do 6 as well. Right, say goodbye to.
Technically, the irony is all the fans do make up one man and one biscuit. So,
yeah. Still my favourite bit of the XFM shows. That is where Steve says, "Right, Ricky, I've received an email. Now the email is promoting the band that are playing tonight. Carl, I saw Carl looking. What was that about? The name of the band is Half Man Half Biscuit, and Mickey just goes."
Well, I'm going to start a podcast with Matt Higgins where he takes me through the entire Beatles discography just to annoy you. And every week I'm going to go, finally, I've got a friend that likes the Beatles that can show me the Beatles.
I'll be too busy enjoying the fact that both our football teams are very good. That's...
Hold that thought by the time this comes out with all the injuries. But
no.
In antitrust, still better than United, aren't we, Higgsy? Shower of shite.
Well, we are. Can't wait to see them in the cup. The Guardian did an article about County yesterday, and it was a really good article. And then I scrolled back up and read the title, and the title mentions Wrexham in it. So for fuck's sake, why they've got to get them into everything? It's like Stockport put Wrexham's Hollywood story in the shade. And it's like, they're only 5 points behind us. What are you about? I
always get a sleepy remonition whenever someone says Guardian of the Unlimited Guardian podcast. Ricky Joyce, because I always listen to it falling asleep and then I get little jingles.
Guardian Unlimited.
It's a Guardian Unlimited. That was weird. It's like when you hear your alarm on Summit and it makes you go, oh. Yeah. That was weird.
There's several songs that I can't listen to anymore because I've had them as alarms.
Oh yeah, I'd stop doing that. Yeah, you know what? Cornerstone got ruined that way for me for a while because I had that as my ringtone. So the new used to make me go.
See, I need something loud.
It's like Inception. I didn't know what the. If Cornerstone didn't end, I wouldn't know whether I was awake or asleep. Well, that was a great bit of pre-show banter there, post-show banter to end the series with. But no, thank you, everyone. We'll probably see you very soon for Shadow Puppets and stuff.
Yeah, and tell a friend.
It's a Holt promise.
And you can take that to the bank.
Yeah, say that to one of my exes, and they'll go.
Yeah.
That promise certainly means a lot.
If we get like an influx of new subscribers this week, it's because that WhatsApp group chat that's got all your exes in it, flagging you off. It's gone, have you heard what he's been saying? I've joined up.
We've done our bit on hell tonight. I don't need to.